Hey traders, so we're starting off with the dollar today because in my opinion the dollar is going to be the key to a lot of different markets, and that is in regard to crypto and metals and miners and stocks as a whole. As long as the dollar stays weak, these assets are remaining very strong. We did drop to a lower low on the dollar, but whenever we see bear breaks with a lack of follow through, we start keeping an eye out in the other direction. Can we drop down to 90 and below before we see any kind of meaningful weekly oversold bounce? Yes, that is possible. But again, this is just something we want to be monitoring on a daily basis. Next time we bounce anything under 93.47 is just a daily lower high. But you want an example of bear breaks with a lack of follow through looking in the other direction. And the biotech sector, XBI, just gave us a beauty. We had 108.19 and 107.69. We broke it last Monday. Very little follow through for bears, straight into a bounce. We broke it again on Thursday. Very little follow through, and then today they go plus 3% with a massive bounce. Bear breaks with a lack of bear follow through means start looking in the other direction. So if we get any kind of meaningful bounce on the dollar, we just zoom out and look for a weekly lower high, because anything under 97.80 is a weekly lower high. So SPY today had a weak close, a little 10-minute dump into the end of the day. And we're watching the pattern of a higher low every day, which has been intact for 7 days in a row at this point. If we break the low of today, tomorrow, we're going to be looking for daily consolidation. And we're going to be looking for a number of things. Number one, can we form a daily higher low? Anything above 335 is a daily higher low, giving the bulls about 4.5% to work with. Number two, we're going to be watching for first hourly oversold conditions. And number three, we're going to be watching the daily 12-period exponential support, which has been holding for 2 months at this point. Ideal scenario would be for hourly oversold conditions to align with daily 12-period exponential support to give the bulls a bit more confidence in dip buying. But overall, plenty of space for a daily higher low to form unless we see massive bear volume. So same thing on QQQ. We're watching the higher low everyday pattern. QQQ, a more convincing all-time high today. Higher low every day, 7 days in a row. And if you go back and eliminate 1 day, we're really looking at 11 of the last 12 days in a row. So that new support is 292.62. And again, these bulls just keep doing it where we get notable weakness. Look at this drop from the high of the day. Just a fast, hard drop straight into V-shaped recovery into continuation. So, end of the month, higher low everyday pattern, plenty of space for a daily higher low to form. EMA 12 support, hourly oversold first conditions is what we'll be watching for. And again, check out the back burner trade video on our YouTube channel put out Friday, which will explain why we're watching for first hourly oversold conditions in SPY and QQQ if looking for a bullish entry. IWM. So IWM weekly time frame is trying to be a bull flag, but we're not getting much follow through at this point thanks to XLF weakness. So we had a little bit of a shift underway, but here we are looking right back down at supports of 154.63 and 153.60. So bulls didn't really prove much to us. And again, XLF, daily consolidation underway, closing at the low of the day. XLF has to hold 27, make that 24.75 to keep the daily higher lows intact. And it's just a lack of follow through. Today we had 2/3 of the S&P 500, or I should say 2/3 of the New York Stock Exchange was red today. And we have to remember that there's some flashy names out there. You know, Apple all-time highs up 3.5%. Tesla all-time highs up 12%. And those flashy names can distract us from the fact that there's a good bit of consolidation going on right now. It's not significant consolidation, but things are pulling back. Healthcare sector did hit an all-time high today. We're watching some rising wedges on the daily time frames as well. We've got a rising wedge on the healthcare sector. We've got a rising wedge on oil, and we've got a rising wedge on semiconductors. So keeping an eye. In 2020, these rising wedges have not seen significant bear follow through, but that doesn't mean we should ignore them. So there's XLF. Here's SMH. Again, all-time high, 176.39. We got a new all-time high today. But we are watching for the potential of a rising wedge. Biotech sector, again, bear breaks with a lack of follow-through into a bull move. Anything under 114.59 is just a daily lower high, but size of the bounce is getting significant enough that we will be watching for a daily higher low compared to 106.77 once this bounce does top out. We didn't even consolidate on the hourly today until the close, I should say. So aggressive bulls are watching for an hourly higher low, and patient bulls are waiting for a daily higher low. And again, let's draw a falling wedge here. 4-hour time frame for the biotech sector. Something like that. And we are right at that resistance line. Extended hours, some of those candles I would ignore in extended hours, but you get the idea. If we pull back, technically we'll still be in this pattern, but that's where the bulls have to form that daily higher low and then confirm the daily trend change to break bullish from this pattern. So we got weakness in XLF. We've got XLV at the all-time high, but not a lot of follow-through. We've got QQQ at the all-time high with follow-through. Definitely doing the heavy lifting to keeping the market bulls strong. SMH new all-time high with no follow-through, keeping that rising wedge alive. And the VIX up at the high of the day into the close. Again, a lot of hedging going on. Everybody knows we're due for a pullback. But we're just not seeing it. The VIX is positioned well to see a solid move up if we do see daily consolidation, keeping in mind that anything under 33.70, we'll just be looking at it as a weekly lower high. But momentum is shifted. We've got a daily trend change. We've got the exponential moving averages trying to cross bullish. We leveled out for a solid week plus. So keep an eye on the volatility index because it is shaping up for some short-term bullish action, which we've already been seeing the last couple of days. But again, we want some notable SPY and QQQ daily consolidation to see what the volatility index can really do. So gold and silver are still in their daily equilibriums. The gold bulls would hope to be a little bit stronger than this, again, because the dollar just dropped to a lower low and gold is not moving to a higher high. Anything under 2016 is just a daily lower high. If we lose the 4-hour uptrend without breaking 2016, our daily lower high is set, and we could easily tighten up within this range into next week. So things could get boring and stay boring in gold if we fail to break 2016. Silver is closer to a break, so we can look there for clues. Silver bulls need to break 28.47. We got within 11 cents today. Same thing, if we lose the 4-hour uptrend without breaking that resistance, we remain in the tightening daily range. If the bulls break that resistance, the odds that the gold bulls will break resistance as well will increase a little bit. But for now, we're range bound, and the miners are range bound as well. GDX, anything under 44.09 is just a daily lower high. So this, for me, these are trades that I am sticking on a piece of paper somewhere and saying, okay, don't forget about these trades. You're not interested in them right now, but if they keep tightening up into next week, that's going to be one of your main trades to be watching into next week. Oil, potential rising wedge. I've been saying for a long time that I am not comfortable bullish at these levels. That being said, the bears haven't proven anything to us. But we're watching. There are rising wedges out there. Oil bears need a break of 42.36 and 41.46 to start getting some notable momentum. And I'm going to start getting interested. Bearish oil here pretty soon. Natural gas, perfect bounce off a daily 12-period exponential support yet again. And also a perfect bounce in our 4-hour channel. Look at that hold of support first thing this morning. This 4-hour channel is a beautiful guide of resistance and support. I would be expecting a lower high compared to 264, at least initially on this bounce attempt. And getting cautious up here. Let's see if this is a 12-hour head and shoulders. You could say so. So left shoulder, head, our neckline, very similar area. And if we fail to break the high and then roll over, it will be time for some weekly consolidation. But bull's still holding on for now. Tesla, I'm looking for a short tomorrow. If we gap up open, I want to see as high an open as possible. Bulls are running it after hours. Up 2% after hours. Nice day trading opportunities in both directions yet again. And I am looking for a short entry on a gap up open tomorrow, depending on a lot of things. Of course, I'll be talking about it live streaming, but that is one of my main watches for tomorrow after a 12% plus day, first day of the split and breaking 500 psychological. So quick recap. Watching some high flyers like Tesla for some consolidation. Ideally, we want to see QQQ lose the pattern of a higher low every day at the same time for that Tesla short to get follow through. We can also be watching Tesla first 5-minute and first hourly oversold conditions for some bounces. SPY and QQQ, we're watching the pattern of a higher low every day. We'll be watching for a daily higher low once that pattern breaks. Rising wedges on healthcare, semiconductors, and oil to be watching. That's pretty much it. The VIX, keeping an eye on the VIX. If we do see some of these rising wedges break bearish, if we do see some notable daily consolidation, and equilibriums on metals and miners. Nice and clear. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Hope you all had a great weekend, and we'll see you tomorrow. So I wanted these seeds, and I didn't want to wash off the goo because I didn't want to trigger the wetness to make the seeds sprout. So I hired some free labor, a little bit of mutually beneficial relationship, and so far they're working away at clearing off these seeds. Good deal. This is 28 hours later. Pokeberries are getting ripe. I'll have to show their dyeing capabilities. She'd rather drink that water than her bowl.